Teaching online takes time, just like it takes any teacher in a brick-and-mortar environment time to develop. Making the transition abruptly is even more of a challenge. The purpose of this video is to walk through some recommended steps to transition face-to-face instruction to online instruction in a short amount of time. These recommended steps are adopted from a March 9, 2020 article published in the Chronicles of Higher Education by Michelle Millers. Millers is a veteran online teacher and professor of psychological sciences at Northern Arizona University. If you've never taught online before, the question you may be wondering right now is, where do I start? Let's walk through some steps that can lead to online instruction. The first thing to do is review your course assignments for the coming weeks. Are they accessible online so students can find the instructions and materials that they need? Is it clear how students will be turning in their work? Have deadlines changed, and are all of those deadlines prominently posted? These are the questions you'll want to ask yourself and answer before moving on to the next step. Next, think about the in-class experience. What do you normally use your in-class time for? Try to define what you do as goals, such as presenting content or collaborative project work. This will help you to think about how to facilitate a lesson and simulate it online. Decisions you'll make will be, should the lesson occur synchronous, asynchronous, or maybe a combination of both. You'll also want to think about what are the must-knows for your content and what are the nice-to-knows that might be able to be eliminated at this time. Next, think about how you will give feedback on progress. Consider how students will be able to practice key skills and objectives you want them to get out of the lesson and how you can formatively assess these online. How will you provide feedback and help students prepare for low-stakes assessments like quizzes and high-stakes assessments like tests or projects? If students would have been developing their skills in analyzing and synthesizing assigned readings via in-class discussion, perhaps they could do that online using Google Drawings to make a graphic organizer. Or if you'd normally have students practice by attempting to answer questions in an interactive in-person lecture, perhaps you would attempt a synchronous lesson using Blackboard Collaborate Ultra that can support a presentation like this. You could also take an in-person lecture and present a version of the questions you would have asked in an online discussion forum and offer feedback on responses. Next, you'll want to decide how you will handle high-stakes assessments, and most particularly, these are your exams. This is an area where there's no easy solution to giving a unit test that is proctored and in person. One alternative route is to convert your unit assessment into a project that is scored using a rubric. You could also explore Blackboard tests and Kia as ways to administer a test. There are settings in Blackboard tests that can support this, like scheduling a time frame the test is available, placing a time limit on the test itself, and making it password protected. It is really important, though, to communicate these instructions to students in advance of going this route. You'll also want to consider your course materials. In all likelihood, a lot of your readings and other materials may already exist in digital format, and you may have already posted them. You'll want to double check that they're accessible and that key documents such as the course syllabus and your class calendar are easy to find on your Blackboard page. Finally, you'll want to communicate your plan to your students. It will be really important to communicate clearly to students the plan for your course in the next few weeks. Be sure to state what students are responsible for doing, how they can find things they need to meet those responsibilities, and what they should be doing first. Providing checklists are a great tool to give to students at this time to make sure they've completed all of the expectations. Remind students of the best way to contact you so that you can keep two-way conversation open. As you think about transitioning your class online, it's important to keep your sanity. Stacey Johnson of Vanderbilt University recommends these 3 tips to help keep your sanity during these times. The first is to keep your expectations realistic. Don't focus on the nice to know and maybe even the need to know. Focus on what students must know. So planning for 55-minute sets like you may have once done doesn't necessarily apply in this environment. Capitalize on what you already do online or know how to do online. It's impossible for teachers to learn 6 new tools at once without losing your sanity. So think about what you know how to do and start there. You can add more tools as you need. And finally, get help when you need it. Everyone is in the same boat right now. Reaching out to your PLCs, co-teachers, instructional technology support, and online forums like Facebook groups and Twitter are great ways to get in touch with other teachers. Right now, there is an abundance of online resources, lessons, and ideas being shared online. Take advantage and don't forget to give credit.